Hello, everybody. Just give a moment here for this to boot up. This is the second round today. The last round, my internet died. I still don't understand what happened. I had to reboot my server and, well, not my server, but my router. And after a while, eventually started working. So I'm assuming we were under some kind of attack, but here we are again. Round two, which means we got to go back from the very beginning because I can't really splice and dice this, and the other one will be deleted. So we'll, for future reference, we need to go back from the very beginning. But I suppose the first time was practice. I suppose all the listeners are going to get a little review again. So by the way, give me a moment here before we start rolling because I got to do everything all over again. So let me notify the audience members on Facebook about the live stream and get everybody so we can get some people back on board again. And we can get rolling here. And if you have some questions for Veronica while we go through all this, I would love to hear them when we come up for some Q&A. All right, so welcome, Patty, Linda, Lane, Sebastian. Thank you for joining us again. All right, so I'm James Rink, and welcome to Super Soldier Talk. Tonight we have Veronica with us, and Veronica is going to be sharing some of her experiences as a She-Hulk, as well as some of her remote viewing sessions that we've done together. She has been on my show. This is the fourth interview this time around, and we've gone mostly in the other interviews we did was with the Hulk program. So we're going to go in a little bit of that because I got some pictures of the Hulk that we wanted to show that we had drawn up. But in this particular show, we're going to go into, well, let me go ahead and let me back up here and read its bio. So Veronica is going to be talking about the Hulk program, which started out as Project Blue Ranger. He was designed as a cowboy type super soldier, but there was an explosion. Mutations occurred, and the Incredible Hulk was the result. The project was then replicated on other super soldiers, including my clone, Rob Richter, and Veronica's clone, Sheila the She-Hulk. Veronica Bartolini was in the SSP, as well as Monarch, Montauk, Mannequin, Kruger, Nakwaffen, Project Crystal Gates, which is with the Dolphin super soldiers, as well as Stargate SG-1. She was also part of Umbrella Corporation's Hulk program, which started out as Black Shield. So Black Shield was the name of the planetary corporation, and then that's what was making the leaks out of the Project Blue Ranger. Her spiritual name is Kumru, and she has Draco DNA. While in the SSP, Veronica went by the name of Soel and served on missions to rescue children. Her civilian life includes titles of police officer, U.S. Army vet, realtor, behavioral health tech, and recovery coach from trauma. She had a near-death experience in 2010, and she was dead for 3 days. In today's video, we will be discussing a channel conversation with Nikola Tesla, an update on Sheila, the She-Hulk, and the Blue Ranger. So we're going to show some of the drawings. And then we're going to talk to people known as the Laquoia. And they are not very good group of people, but they're like shapeshifters. And so anyway, we'll get into that when the time comes. Veronica, let's see. Go ahead and unmute yourself. And so can you go ahead and unmute yourself? Hello.
Hello. Thank you, James, again.
Yeah,
for being here. Yeah, with me. And thank you, audience. Round two. Here we go.
Yeah. So yeah. And by the way, audience members, I'm sorry the internet dropped. I have no idea what happened, but I'm assuming it was not. I don't know. I don't want to go into paranoia here, so I don't want to assume anything. But what we will do is we did do a little clearing and ask for some protection, and we got guides and guardian angels on board. So we're going to move forward with this amazing content. And I also want to mention audience members, tomorrow I'm doing another live stream with Johan Fritz And be sure to check that out. Of course, in the future, if you watch this, it won't be tomorrow, it would be in the past. But that interview will be on there with because we're going to do a history of the secret space program. I've got a 150 slide PowerPoint presentation, which I'm going to show. So that is at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And that will be, I'm pretty sure we're going to be ready to go live right on the dot, within maybe 10 minutes speaking. But okay, so Veronica, let me actually, why don't you tell people, give us a little background on how you came about channeling Nikola Tesla?
Well, for many years, I was interested in Nicola and the technologies that he had made. And I would always wonder why don't they really talk about him? You know, why are they always talking about Einstein and stuff like that? And when I had my awakening, I discovered that I had the ability to mess with electronics and turn off electronics without meaning to. And so I started questioning myself, could I be related to him, or what is it that, why am I so fascinated with him? And so come to find out, one of my great grandfathers worked with him. And so that's what we did in the past regression. It's exciting. I
Because it
got
was
to
like
talk to him.
your grandfather was a mathematician,
Yes,
and he actually worked with Nikola Tesla.
yes,
Hmm,
on my dad's side. So I thought that was
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah. And what about you? Are you like a math genius, or?
I sucked at math, but it's weird. Like in college at the university, I was getting a 3.0. My junior year, I took trigonometry, physics, everything. But it's just weird. Like I may not be a genius at it, but as far as quantum physics and things like that, and in my dreams and in visions, and even like during the day when I'm driving or when I'm out on my bike ride, I see like these numbers in the sky, and I write down the equations sometimes. And remember, we had we spoke to Adrian, and I was able to hack into a master computer as far as the chip that we have back here. It's just weird how I'm like always seeing equations, and I may not understand it fully like they want us to understand it here in the programming of freaking Stanford or education, the education programming, but somehow I figure things out. It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, and a lot of mathematicians, they're channeling the information. They're almost like you almost, I mean, you may think you're doing these calculations in your own mind, but it's almost like a form of an astral computer, and the information's being remotely viewed from a distance. Or, of course, a lot of these numbers are imaginary, but well, I mean, imaginary as in non-tangible. But anyway, okay, let's. I don't want to talk. You didn't you have a? Wasn't there a story you had about their spiders before? I think we skipped over that. You
Oh
want to
yeah.
share that story again, just real quick?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was in like the medical field in this time, and all of a sudden I see like this spider being on my hand, and it was like really big. It was like holding on to me, like pricking my skin, and it was pretty big. Like it was black, and it was like telling me that it was sentient, while it was telling me that it didn't want to hurt people anymore, that it was tired of being used to, it was pretty much a detonator and a mind reader, like a drone. But I have the ability to speak to things, my vehicle, you know, my phone, things, inanimate objects, like they say. And in this reality, I was like, okay, well, I don't want you to hurt anybody either, but I knew that I had to set it down. So I set it down at a fence area, and there was a person there, like he looked military, like he was wearing a tan suit, and then there was a lady there too. And I worked with him too, making these technologies such as a spider, which I don't even know what the name is. technical name, but so he was trying to climb the fence, because this bomb was gonna, this spider was gonna go off and into an explosion. So I just find it interesting how it said it didn't want to hurt anybody anymore. And we know that there are some good spiders and there are some bad, just like there are malevolent ETs and what is it? Benevolent and malevolent.
Malevolent.
Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting how it spoke to me.
So you think this was perhaps maybe a diamond spider, and somebody mentioned in the chat that that's in Saturn, on a moon in Saturn. It did it
Yeah.
actually look like a diamond spider?
Yes. It was very big though. Very big. And we're also going to talk about Saturn, right? The mansion, or did we talk about that already in another?
Uh, I believe we talked about that already, according to my
Oh, okay,
notes
okay.
anyway.
All right. It's interesting that they say Saturn though.
Yeah, so Saturn, apparently there are a lot of negative ET bases there. But so in the last video that we did, we talked about how one of them was
Okay.
taken over, at least on one of the
Yes.
moons, and was being used as recuperation center, orphanage, for okay. Someone, yeah. So I guess the only thing I want to mention is, so this was, I guess you were remote viewing this spider, and it's being used as a weapon, and it already died, and it came back to talk to you after it did its
No,
mission.
no, it was before it did its mission. And this was in one of my dreams that I had. And it was like, I felt so sorry for it. Like, but I just knew that it told me to put it down and I had to put it down, on the fence.
Hmm.
So they're creating these technologies, the drones, what they call the drone with the shoe. I've seen them, I've taken pictures and I've seen like where there's the drones and people won't see them with their naked eye. We're being monitored, we're always being listened to in public. And so even at home, like I took off the fire alarms because that's another um, how they monitor you. Pretty much their cameras, the LED lamps outside. They just placed them here 1 year ago, and I hated it because it was right by my bedroom window. And so those are already, they have cameras in there. So there's ways that they monitor us and things like that. But the thing of it is we have to just stop being afraid, because the more people give in fear, that's how they're being controlled. So just know your power, know you're sovereign.
All right. So let's go ahead and dive into the Nikola Tesla material here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to go back through this again. Some people, this may actually be review, but we'll get through. I think we only got through like half a page of this, but for those of you, you definitely get the material down. So so we start off in I believe it's the New Yorker Hotel. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's where Nikola Tesla was staying at the end of his life. And so there was um, an elevator that went down into the basement, that it was like a private elevator that he had access to, or the people working with him. And so it's circa 1945, and we go back here. This private elevator to the office area, where there are two bookshelves filled with rare books. And so this is inside the office, correct? Where these
Hmm.
books are? Okay.
Yes.
On the floor of this office, it has black and white tiles, checkerboard. The room walls have a grayish blue tone. There are two chalkboards on the walls, and they are full of equations and some words. And someone has actually written the equations on the walls now too. They're written in, we see white, black, red, and green chalk. And yeah, so the equations look like it's written by someone who's been there for a very long time. So we see around this, I guess, in the wall itself is built in what seemed to be like a Faraday type cage around the whole complex. It's meant to keep EMF or malevolent AI signals away. It looks like a spider web like electrical wires covered with plaster all over the walls. There's a desk and square table in the room which Tesla is sitting in. The smaller square table has a 40-inch globe device which is sitting on a silver bowl that you could put water into it. There are silver pipes that go around the wall which pour water into the bowl. The bowl is dry right now. This device has something to do with free molecular structure, which can make free energy. Are we still connected? This is where I lost you last time.
This is where we are.
Yes. Are we good?
We're
Transmission
good.
clear. Okay. Um, you want to comment about this? Do you have any information on this bowl and this globe thing?
It was a project that he was working on, and it's like those globes that where you put your hands on, and you can, your electromagnetism is like in sync with it. Like when you're a kid and you go to Spencer's and you see that globe, it was kind of like that. It was pretty big, pretty awesome. It
Hmm.
was like sentient. It was pretty neat.
Do the read mode. Okay. All right. Nikola Tesla is sitting at his desk. There are papers strewn about its surface. Both hands are covering his face as it appears. He is meditating. He's wearing a cream beige colored suit and is in distress over a meeting with some people he just had. He is worried he gave these men too much information about trip seat technology. He just found out the trip seat will be used for experimental purposes in the SSP and not for positivity. The men want him to tweak the chair so they could use it for experimentation and so that the elites can see the future. So the only thing I could really comment about the trip chair is that it was based on a conscious chair recovered from the crash at what I thought was Roswell. That was in 47. So maybe if they had another conscious chair, it would have been from some other ET trade or something. Maybe you want to comment about that. Do you have any information on when they got their first trip seat?
No, not yet. I would have to look into that.
Okay. And do you know what they were planning using this trip seat? I mean, did it actually have the ability to change memories, or was it like a healing med bed type device? Or do you know
It
what
was
this?
supposed to be for healing, but obviously they used it for mind wipe.
Okay. Yeah, I think the NAZIs, they didn't get a hold of mind wipe technology till 1954. So it could be a planetary corporation, but we're just guessing here.
I don't
Okay.
like to guess. I just what I told you, that's what you wrote down, and I'm
Okay.
not gonna guess.
They have threatened to kill his family if he doesn't cooperate. He is not worried about his life so much because he knows he will live forever. He has been given a deal and allowed some time to think about it. Tesla says we can all live forever by not eating junk food and GMO products. We've been programmed to eat what you see with your eyes. You are constantly thinking about food. You do not give your body the nutrition or enough time to digest its food before you think about your next meal. Tesla is working on a device to slow aging. He says it involves spring water that is diluted. So you see him with a bunch of mathematical equations in his okay. To show what the water dilution was diluted into. There is a binding of hydrogen and oxygen. We think it might be similar to Jeff Harvey's Easy Water, but I don't know. Jeff apparently it didn't cure him, but I don't know what. I'm not necessarily going to comment too much about Jeff. If anybody know who Jeff Harvey is, he used to have a website called Harvey Tech or Harvey Net, Harvey Tech. Oh, anyway, .net. And he was working on this device. It was like $400,000. He was trying to get backers, and then suddenly he died. But he had a lot of health issues, so maybe it was just a little bit too little, too late. I don't know. Anyway, so there are more equations involved in this and needs to be refined even further. Veronica now goes into another room that has a 20-foot tall, high bell shaped dome that can be used to make electricity. It's a portal jump room, and there are spider-like thin wires hanging from the center of the dome that are silver, metallic, and shiny. These wires are hanging inside the dome like a spider web-like thing. When the dome is in use, you should be naked, and it blows cool steam to the touch onto you, and it helps rejuvenate you. This liquid can help replenish all your nutrients, vitamins, amino acids, and minerals that you should be getting from your food. It also gets rid of nanites, toxins, pollution, and has a re-aging effect, causing the skin to become more elastic and thicker again. This is a special technology he's been working on so that people should not have to eat so much. Tesla believes food should be for entertainment purposes only. This device is for healing, stopping aging, and reducing the need of food intake, but is also considered monarch technology. They don't want they don't want the public to know. Can you comment if Tesla was, I mean, he was probably using this device, right?
Yes,
It was a working prototype.
yes.
So that would mean, because near the end of his life, I mean, he looks pretty, I'm not saying he looks old. I mean, I don't want to, I mean, he looks like he's been aging. So um, maybe the last pictures. Hmm, okay, well, we'll say that for a bit. But do you want to comment about the Monarch technology?
Hmm. The thing of it is he was working on the technology to make sure that um like our skin would be rejuvenated, like that we wouldn't have any toxins, the nanonites, the whatever from the water, the fluoride, and it was supposed to keep us young, rejuvenated, without needing like too much pretty much food, because there are, I mean, you've heard of breatharians, you've heard of people that just barely eat, that they do a lot of like intermittent fasting or whatever. And what they've done now is they've pretty much wanted to poison our food, because they just want to experiment with us, with the AI and the nanites that get into our skin, with the V2K, the mind control and all that. So this was supposed to be used to help humanity, and well, got into the wrong hands.
Hmm.
Now it is used still, like by when we're in space or whatever, you come back and then they spray you with this technology. That way you can get rid of whatever you acquired over there, um, to not bring whatever we have back in here, back to Earth, to Mother Earth. So that technology is still being used. I don't know if you remember when, and also, well, to lose the weight. I don't know if you remember, what's his name? Crap, I forgot his name. But he was like really, really overweight, and he was like a partner with CG. I don't want to mention his name, but he came back and he went into these chambers, and that's what they did. They pretty much sprayed him off. And with the med bed and technologies that we have, he was like weighing nothing. His body, his face totally changed. I gotta remember his name. But anyway, I think you know who I'm talking about, right?
I don't want to throw names out
Yeah,
there
I don't
because
want to
I
either.
don't pay attention to CG camp. But anyway,
Yeah, me
so
either. But that was
well,
that's what was happening when I had the awakening, and I was like, whoa. So when I remote viewed this Tesla technology, I'm like, yep, that's what they used on him. So
all right. So let's go back to this. Where are we at here? All right, so we're on the bell shape. Okay, yeah, so you don't need to eat food in this device. You live forever. Okay, perfect health. Okay, so here's the dilemma. If he finishes the device, he will be killed. But if he does not finish it, he will lose his family and his legacy will be erased from the earth. So we ask him, to consider focusing his research on time travel, such as the Diglaka, which he's familiar with, and ask people in the future to pull him or his family out of danger if he needs to be. We're just trying to make suggestions to him. But so he said in the year 2036, people will be willing to intervene and recover his family, and then he can finish his device. We let him know we're from the present era, 2020, and he seems surprised and impressed and touches his mustache and unshaven face. He asks if we did it. And this is his quote in his words. These things have been implemented in 2020. The technologies, the AI abilities, cardiovascular structure has already been mastered in other timelines. I never intended Wi Fi to be charged for, never intend people to pay for electricity, for people to go with lack. I need to do something about the future right now so that history is not repeated again. For example, I want people to have free access to portals. Now, the system has to have some kind of trade. right now is based on money and greed, as well as human trafficking involved. The so-called Galactic Federation has not kept all their agreements that we spoke about, in particular with the Wi-Fi portal psychotronic energy. They have warped our agreement, and for this humanity has surfaced. Humanity has this humanity has surfaced greatly. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but greatly suffered. Says
Yeah,
humanity has
suffered.
suffered greatly at the hands of the so-called elite, the so-called malevolent Draconi. In 2020, human populations should be doing space time travel with stealth triangular technology. The high rise and low rise code for specific technologies in use now. The quickening of the portal transport, the facilitation of jump rooms all over the earth. Because they have not shown the technology to the public, they have stepped backwards their disclosure process. They traded us. They warped the time travel facilities for other covert operation and black projects. They traded innocent lives for gold, monoatomic gold, and other exotic minerals not found on planet Earth, such as in the asteroids. They also wanted delicacies. Yeah, I'm not going to read that out loud because I don't want this channel to get banned. But and he
Right.
ended up hurting humanity in this timeline. That is why there's war in 2020. There's war against the mind of humanity, and I am saddened because what I created was not intended to harm anyone. I never intended to harm anyone. This was supposed to be beautiful. I'm saddened. So you must be rethinking, why are you all here? What will you do for the children as a society as a whole? So at this point, he is really sad and does not want to talk anymore. You want to comment, Veronica, about any of this? Some of the coded messages here. So how about the Galactic Federation, their agreements
Yeah.
in Ashtar Command? Because a lot of
Ashtar
people are channeling
and
Ashtar, and
yeah,
they're
they're malevolent beings. You guys don't listen to Ashtar, don't listen to the Galactic Federation because they've been compromised. And pretty much that what I saw for the future is where the fake alien invasion is involved, where like they're gonna have these ships that come on, and then they're gonna say, "Well, come on, come with me. You know, I can heal you. I have the med bed. I have the technology." So they're pretty much gonna be using people for this. They're gonna be promised with the thing that's coming up with the transhumanism that I saw, and in my dreams and in my visions, I see that they will promise people, "Hey, you know, come up to the cloud. You know, let's I'll let me use your abilities or whatever. Your family will be protected for. You know, don't worry, they'll have all the money or whatever." And it's all lies. It's all lies to try and get the DNA of the older humans and even younger humans for the adrenochrome and all that stuff that we shouldn't, I don't know, I guess we shouldn't talk about that right now, but yeah.
okay.
So be careful. The Ashtar command is not a good being, and it does not have its high purpose for any of us. And that's all I'm going to say.
So I think to add to this conversation, what Tesla was upset about, and I think we'll probably be going into this later. It's in the notes, but the Galactic Federation has these ships, tens of thousands, maybe more, stationed in orbit around our system. So they keep them all cloaked. And the planetary corporations have extremely advanced technology, and they have bases underground, and they're using their technology to manipulate humanity. So we're already, our free will has already been violated by other races, and the group of positive ETs have the ability to help awaken humanity to let us know that there are other positive groups that care and they're out there and that can counteract this, but they don't want to show their ships because they just don't. In my opinion, they don't want to get involved. Some of them are very arrogant, even though they may be positive. You could consider them positive, but if you have a fully activated 12-strand DNA and you live 150,000 years and you have everything already taken care of you, why would you even care about the human population on the surface? So there's a level, and plus you're super psychic and it doesn't matter. We're just nothing to them. Now, I'm not saying all ETs treat us like that, but that's one of the problems we're dealing with here. So the other thing, somebody actually mentioned name Emery Smith. Is that the person you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. I was gonna say Emery Smith while you were talking, but I didn't know he had overweight issues. But that's curious.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, so there is some confirmation. So let's go back to the share screen here. Okay, so he's sad. He does not want to talk. Oh, I don't know. There's anything else in here we need to go? Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. Let you all figure it out. Okay. So we inquire if he has plans to fake his death and travel to Venezuela to set up a
Venezuela.
break. Did I not say it right? I didn't get it right.
Yeah, say
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Venezuela. Venezuela. I'm still not doing it
Okay.
right.
It's okay, James.
So the rumor is him. I don't think I wrote this in my note. Oh yeah, they're Marconi, him, Tesla, and I think there was someone else.
Mhm.
They go to this. There's like a mesa somewhere deep in the rainforest there, in the jungles where they wanted to set up a breakaway civilization, and this was right around this whole time. And so if anybody has any information on that, I'd be curious to learn more. But I was asking him if he could confirm if he actually faked his death and went down there, and he said it might be a possibility. He is smirking. So that's he can't confirm or deny, just smirk, right? He didn't want to.
Right.
Okay. So I'm not saying he's still down there right now, because if he is alive, he's probably moved on to the spaceships or off world, or who knows where he's at. But I like to think he's still alive and faked his death.
Mhm.
He did confirm he worked with the positive, not NAZIs. Tesla would not consider himself an NAZI sympathizer. Oh my gosh. Forget it.
Doesn't
You know what
matter.
I'm saying? But he was friends with aspects of the good in AZIs, and that's when threats came in from the negative side in AZIs. So, yeah. So I guess there were some factions that were um, that didn't necessarily embrace eugenics and Heinrich Himmler's final solution, but they wanted to elevate humanity to become the Zarathustra, the they wanted to become the
Mhm.
superhuman, right? So,
Right.
and the superhuman could be, they actually found the more genetic background you have, the more abilities you have, because you can draw on from all the different types of DNA. So the superhuman is actually a mutt of all the different races. So there was like certain factions that wanted to continue that research to make the Zarathustra, and there were others who thought that the Aryan, the white race, was the more anyway. So Tesla is working with certain factions that were okay. So we got that, we
Mhm.
established that. Now let's move on here. So we investigated. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I threw it here. So this was from a parallel reality in which the NAZIs won World War II, and in reality, I work with Tesla in his workshop as an engineer, and I was a field officer with the NAZIs. I transcribed numbers for Black Shield, and I was undercover for them as well. And I had a happy family life. I had plenty of money, nice car, nice house. And a lot of people had, I mean, pretty much almost everybody had that over there. As an officer in the NAZA party, I created, that's not as I did that, but as an engineer, I created a jet engine that was way faster than the jets we have today. And I also worked on aircraft technology that was dealing with certain satellites. I was a MO contractor engineer. What does MO stand for? That's something to do with wingspans and yellow color. Do you know? Do you remember
Mm.
MO? Maybe I should have.
Something
Well,
officer.
a what? Military officer?
Mhm.
Huh. So
Military
this would have been
officer.
this would
Sorry, I
have
was
been
drinking my coffee.
yeah, this would
Sorry.
be like a private military contractor then,
Right.
because I didn't think Tesla would work with military. Well, I guess if they gave him unlimited budget, he
Mhm.
probably wouldn't mind working with military stuff, because I don't think he liked working on weapons and stuff. But anyway, okay.
Mhm.
So we worked for 10 years together. So he says I have not lost all my abilities. In the other pair of life, I'm thriving. He recommended I settle my okay. So there you have. Okay, have goodness and patience for yourself. You have the ability to transcribe and encode technology. You've been doing excellent work. I appreciate that. Please do not give up on yourself. Loathing does not help. In due time, your light will shine brighter than you can imagine. Keep working on your future ideas, and soon you'll be working at something to do with holographic technology. You feel dumbed down because they erased your memory so many times, using you again and again. So I guess he's talking to me at this point
Yes.
through
Yes.
you,
Yes.
Veronica.
Hmm.
Veronica's connection to Tesla has to do with her father's lineage, who are associated with the Germans that settled in Mexico. Veronica's great grandfather was a doctor in the island of Corsica. He discovered the Bartolini gland found in females. Tesla said he worked with this him. I thought it was the
With him in
grandfather.
this.
Was it the grandfather or great grand? Well, probably your great grandfather.
Hmm. Tesla said
Okay.
he worked with him. Yes.
Okay. When the Nazis came to power, they threatened him, so he escaped to Mexico with his family. He is also working on technologies that have to do with aeronautics and spindle method for atomic nuclear fission. Fusion. Or is it fission? It was probably fission.
Fission. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So there you have. So you had to stop. Okay. Actually, let me check if you have any comments, go ahead. I'm going to check the chat, see if anybody had questions.
I'm good so far.
Okay. So yeah, they're having a conversation about ascended masters and okay. All right.
No
So
doubt.
let's go. Yeah. Let's, next question. Oh, so now we're going to go into the next topic. The She-Hulk. So this is an art. Oh, I'm gonna have to get out. Let's see if I can try this. Oh wait, I can do it this way. I'm still figuring out how to use. There we go. Oh, I want once. Let's go down here. Flipping through so many things here. So here we have Shelia the She-Hulk.
Sheila the she.
And it's not letting me change the size, so I guess I got to get out of that after all. So I can resize this so everybody can see. There we go. So that's what you look like at the Umbrella Labs.
Hmm.
Maybe the boots should be shredded a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But I don't think they actually gave you a trident. Maybe that was just in your mind.
Right.
Right. Or did they?
Well, I saw a trident when I was remote viewing myself, and that was like undersea, and it was due to the mantarraya. Um, I forget what it is in English, but yes, because I can go underwater as well. So it's kind of weird
All
with
right.
the trident.
So here's some notes. I don't like this. Okay, maybe I need to yeah, there we go. Now it's centered. Okay. So here's some description. The only thing we add here is you're by the entrance of the cave, and the entrance is triangular. The other side is a portal, which looks like opening up underwater. There are
Hmm.
4 flowers around you with red and white flowers around the entrance. They look lush. And so they are similar to the Umbrella Corporation flowers, the symbol, and they just look like flowers. But
Right.
imagine that symbol. And I don't know, there's some people probably don't even know what that looks like. You know what? Let me. There's somebody in the chat room that has the symbol Chris Anonymous. Everybody go look at the chat room. That's what
Oh
the
my
umbrella.
gosh.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Thank you, Chris, for coming in here so I don't have to grab an image. Okay, so you're holding that trident in your hand. There's a bluish neon white shiny top part. It's super shiny, glowing blue. And so they can see some of your expressions there. All right, so there's Sheila the She-Hulk.
Sheila the She-Hulk.
Sheila.
Yeah.
She-Hulk. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the Blue Ranger, and the Blue Ranger was in the same project. They were actually trying to create the blue a cowboy type super soldier, and the Blue Ranger was a result. Do you remember how that's tied into the Hulk? So the Hulk You know what? The Blue Ranger was through Leaksadot, and so that's Dark Shield. Hulk was through Umbrella, so maybe some of the technology was used because Dark Shield subcontracts to Umbrella, but
Yes.
so we were working with this artist. Yeah, he's got his Air Force
I don't
One.
like that. I don't like that art because how I saw him, I had a dream of him before I remote viewed him with you, is that he has like this motorcycle helmet on him, okay? And it's like and his body is blue and white, okay? But it's like it has he has diamond shape all over his body. You know, the suit is part of him. And then anyway, you can read more about it if you want because the notes are more specific. But yeah, I saw him looking at me. He took a picture of me. And then when we did the remote viewing, it was like he was trying to communicate something to us. So yeah, it's in your notes.
Okay, so let's go. Let's go
Thank
refer to
you.
the note. Oh wait, uh, it's down here. Okay, so we're near a cave. There's a waterfall behind him. It's a subalpine forest in the desert below. So he just came up from a lake near this cave. Um, so he's wearing this latex blue and white latex suit. He can shapeshift. I guess he's non-sexed. By the way, so this is my altar, one of my clone bodies.
Yes.
Shaped from female form, a long blonde tacticals coming out of her hair. This is an old experiment done to him, but masculine energy is more dominant. He prefers to be seen as masculine form. He's 6'4". He's somewhat muscular, but yeah, he's got abs. Okay. He's
Yeah,
wearing
because remember, real quick, remember Peter the Insider has said that it was a female, but no, he's more masculine, how I
that.
saw him.
Well, the original Leaksadotans were female,
Hmm.
and then they made some companions, I guess, once they were able to figure it out, probably to get them to procreate and whatnot, get more
Hmm.
of them. So the glass, yeah. So he's wearing these glasses. These that kind of wrap around his head. So we also see, yeah, his skin is translucent underneath the latex suit. He's got a small nose. Okay, we got that. And he also shimmers in the sun, like his skin looks like diamonds.
Hmm.
Um, he is part vampire, but he does not drink human blood. He used to drink animal blood, but he time traveled to a place to help him transmute that. His feet and hands are webbed and covered with a white navy blue latex and with the V blocks. I guess those are the diamond shape blocks and
Hmm.
stripes. He's wearing white boots to the calves, and yeah. Okay, so his eyes are silvery white albino, and you can't see him under the glasses though. Um, oh wait, I thought you said they look like spider eyes, and he had a bunch of them, and they glowed red.
No.
Remember? You remember when he takes off his mask, his original form looks like a spider
When he
face.
takes off his mask, yeah. But he's wearing the glasses that are like they're like motorcycle glasses, they're black.
So are his eyes silvery and white albino, or they look like a bunch of spider eyes?
No, they're his eyes are silvery white albino. But he also can when he takes off the glasses, he can also transmit the red. You know what I mean? But no, I never said of him having multiple eyes. No.
I
No,
thought
what
he
I
looked
said
like.
was the mouth. When he opens the mouth, he has multiple teeth and it goes like in circles. That's why he wears that cork around his mouth.
Okay. He wants to be depicted as showing ice coming out of his right hand, which he uses to freeze people. His left hand comes out black spider web made from femto goo biobots. He's wearing a shirt collar, V-shaped, and then his face is more navy blue. So I guess the latex suit goes right over his face. Um, and so okay, he's wearing a helmet, and let's just move on down here. Okay. Oh, there under his back is a symbol of a spider in red. That's kind of curious. He is standing on rocks near green grass. There's waterfall. Okay, we already went over that. His name is Titan Blue Ranger. He used to work for Black Shield and Umbrella, but he was convinced a few members to help him escape. He is tired of taking that word, which I'm not going to say, is in scaring kids during dreams and under the bed through portals. He was also abused, and he is solo now and doesn't work for the evil. So I guess he escaped. Okay,
Yes.
so all right, and so there's more of these umbrella corporation flowers around him, and we got some more stuff. What's this? Okay. Oh, okay. Hovering above the flowers is this Black Shield spaceship, which can get smaller and bigger in size. He uses this to travel to other planets. It's currently 2 feet in size. It's the shape of a black diamond. That kind of reminds me of the Doctor something Reed. Do you remember Dr. Jonathan Reed?
No, who is that?
Uh, the black diamond. Let me pull that up because that's he saw this obelisk out in the woods.
Okay.
His dog went to go chase a gray that was collecting mushrooms in the woods, and there was the dog. The ET attacked the dog, and so he hit the ET with a stick and knocked it out, and then there was like this obelisk was right nearby. If I can just make sure. Actually, there's he actually had his video camera with him and he recorded it. So let's see if I can find it. I'm going to ask. I found some videos here, but they're not so great. Let's see here. Let me pull this up here. Screen share. Let me get out of here. Okay. The obelisk of Dr. Jonathan Reed. What do you think, Veronica?
Wow.
Is that what it looked like?
Wow. Yes, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. And by the way, so Dr. Reed brought the ET home and his that he knocked out in his pickup truck.
Wow, I didn't even know about this. That's cool.
Yeah, and there's footage. I'm surprised nobody's showing any. He went and he actually got he had this artifact that he put on his his wrist. And there he is right there. So this is an old gosh, this is an hour long. See if I can find some footage for you.
Oh my gosh, no, I've never heard of him or seen anything.
So here's the artifact. He would put this and he like disappeared on the set. So it's like that was also on the gray ET. It had like these needles on it, and the gray would use it to paralyze someone, stun them. So that's because they're very, they're small grays, they're frail, they're also scared of humans. But so much was going on between the dog attacking it, and by the way, like an appendage came out of his suit to attack the dog and grab the dog and just went like that and just obliterated it. And then this artifact came off of its hand, so he grabbed that, took the ET back, and threw it in. I don't know if he had like a refrigerator or the garage. I'm not sure what happened, but actually the refrigerator. He put it in a refrigerator, and the ET was regenerated because they're loaded with femto technology. They actually they can regenerate themselves. So. And at that point, he went down to the park ranger and said, I found an ET. What do you want me to do with it? This is like 1997 or 96. I think this happened, if I'm not mistaken. So, the blackout on this information was like really strong. And then that's when the MIB came in. They wiped it because he worked at the hospital. They wiped all his degrees. Here's some more. Oh, here we go. Here's some more footage. Let me pull this up. So this is, he knocks his ET out. There it is right there. And I think that the ET name is Colas. Because I talked to Sani Sito about this, and she's a contactee that will come from the Zeta collective. And she said that was one of his, like her nephew or cousin or something like that. Or her cousin. And he was just collecting mushrooms, minding his own business. And that Labrador dog went up and attacked it. And there's the obelisk. As you could see, is creating like some kind of EMF frequencies that are interfering with the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And while this is going on, after he hit the ET, um, the energy given off by the ET was such a strong empathic energy that it caused him to be paralyzed, and he was having trouble breathing, just like the ET was. So he was like picking up on the energy. There
Mm-hmm.
was a strong psychic connection. So he wraps it in mylar, and you can see it turned brown, but it was regenerating.
Wow.
Oh wow! It looks like it's blinking its eyes. Holy moly! I just noticed. I don't know if you saw that, but
Yeah, I see that.
yeah.
Wow.
And so a piece of its skull was missing, and so. And by the way, his family did come and recover him, so he survived. And
Oh,
Dr. Jonathan Reed has been talking about this. So, and there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, this is all fake," and I don't know.
wow. I have to look into that. That's interesting. But the
Yeah,
obelisk looks just the same, though.
yeah. So let me get out of this. So let me check the chat, see if anybody had any questions. Dr. Jonathan Reed. Okay, somebody said it smells like a hoax. No, a lot of people say that. Okay, Pacific Northwest. Yeah, so I think it was in Washington. But anyway, all right. Let's. So where are we at here? And by the way, that ship, that obelisk you saw, that was Coleus' spaceship. It can get bigger and smaller. He makes it smaller. It hovers around him while he collects mushrooms and so on. So I don't
That
know.
is so cool, James. Like, I've
Yeah.
never seen that footage, and I saw it in the regression. Like, I see it in my vision. That's just wild.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, in the future, that technology is available to humanity.
Hmm.
So maybe he traveled to the future. But
Right.
anyway, let's move on here. Black Shield. Where are we at here? Black Shield is a Nordic alien NAZI base in Antarctica where they make Lixodon. So he was made in 1890. And by the way, the Ixodons are basically immortal. It takes 21 days for them to grow up to adulthood, and then they stop aging at the age of 21. The facility is in a pocket reality outside of time, and so they can time travel this facility. Many of the clones of it are in that facility of his brothers and sisters are stored in ice. We see the word Kozlov and Manta Ray, which is maybe the name of the group that he works for now.
Yeah, and you see how you have that picture of him? That's how I saw him. Like, you know, and of course the boots were white, and then he had a little bit more white outlining. So
Let's go back.
hopefully somebody, an artist will want to contribute, you know, to your work there, because I don't know about this one artist here.
We tried. We did like 3 drafts, and I think we were kind of getting close, but I kind of and then I ran out of money, so there's only so much I can throw at this. So but anyway, let's
Right.
move on here. And actually, before I do, let me ask to see if audience members have any questions. Somebody says, okay, this was another learning experience, James. You do good work. Thank you, Charisma. Appreciate that. Government works with ETs. We know that. Someone says, I've gone to sleep and literally waking up on a clone being wheeled on a cart in an underground base.
James, you froze. Hello. James, not again. You froze.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we froze again.
Oh my gosh, I was so worried that thing's gonna drop me.
Are we still
So
live?
I don't know. I don't
Oh
know.
gosh.
It says live here in my Zoom. James froze and Veronica audio cut off for a bit. Nice ship. He'd been attacked again. Somebody says what happened? Usually there's like a 5-second lag here. So let's see. Can you hear us? Linda says yes. Linda, can you hear?
Okay, good.
Yes, it works now.
Okay.
AI attacks. Okay.
Yeah, this is the second time that we got attacked on.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
Okay. Well, I don't know what trigger was it. Was it the Reed material? Because he has been under heavy attacks, and
Well, the first attack was when we were talking about Tesla, and now it's Reed. So,
hmm. Yeah, and he went through so many horrible. I mean, what they did to him was absolutely ridiculous. I
mhm.
mean, they erased his medical degrees. He couldn't even get a job. And this was in like the mid to late 90s. Does anybody in the chat, does anybody remember what year it happened? Was it 98 or 96? I mean, this is an era when, like, if you talked about, I don't know if you remember what it was like in the 90s, but talking about ETs made people think you're crazy.
Mhm.
So yeah, imagine. So anyway, but and that's what Tesla was complaining about. It's like the ETs need to show themselves, stop hiding, because we're being experimented on, and they're not taking responsibility too, even though they
Right.
consider themselves positive. But whatever. All right, so uh, I guess we can move on here. Hopefully, won't have any more disruptions. So the Laquoia. Um,
Yeah.
you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and take the cue and read this
Thank
here.
you.
So we start off in the laboratory in the woods, and there's a mansion that was very close by. So now we're outside the woods and being chased. So I guess this is you, Veronica. You see yourself. I think this is you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's
So
me.
you see a silver door, and you're now in a laboratory setting. Everything looks translucent, plastic, and white. It looks like a biosphere of some sort. Inside, there are people around you in white chairs. They're waiting for their turn. You see a lady with a black hair and dark skin. She is sick, and a male who is Asian looking. And there's a boy nearby, and Veronica sees herself wearing a plastic white helmet. To the left of her are IV tubes that go from the ceiling down from each person to take their blood. So you see some adults, an Asian, and see
Yes.
the
Adults and some children.
male. And so they are experimenting or doing something to these children in these IVs. And you're one of these children. Okay. Um, and something in their blood. Okay. On the right, your arm looks like a robot. So you got like an android type arm, a cybernetic arm, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Red circle in the forearm. Fingers are silver metallic light. Left arm is normal like human. They have just done something to your left arm. There is a tall man in a tall, tan brown uniform who talks to you and says, "You have to go outside." You notice that, you notice that you are wearing a suit and helmet, and you clearly see it with her eyes. I don't know. He says, "Be careful when you go down. There are rocks and water because there's something there." He opens the door and the rocks and water are dripping nearby. The Asian man says something. So now you are outside the facility running away, I'm assuming.
Yes.
The black lady tells you, "This is my last resort to get better." And then, so now you're walking to the silver door. On the way out, you see all kinds of vials and trays and syringes with clear fluids. They are injecting these subjects. So then you step out. There seems to be two room. Oh wait. So there's another room. Okay. Before you step out, all right. There are two rooms that are also plastic, but you mean maybe covered in plastic, like a plastic wall?
Yes.
And
Like
but
the
they're
curtains are all plastic, and in the background, there's another room with gurneys.
yeah, no one's in there. Okay. It seems like the subjects start at this room and then go to the main room with the chairs of IVs. Okay.
Hmm.
The brown uniformed man says he'll be careful, says, "Be careful with the rocks. There's water." She goes outside, and all of a sudden on the left, there's a bunch of rocky hills and mountains. Okay. You see tall trees, and there's a lot of green everywhere. So almost like the Pacific Northwest, right? Or is it more of a tropical jungle or tropical or
No, not tropical.
okay. So it's like a rainforest, but more
Yes.
continental climate. Okay.
That's where they chase us. Most of us SSPs. If you remember the mansion and then chasing us in the jungle and in the
Mm.
woods.
So you turn around and you notice there's another guy following you who has a right arm that is shape shifting into a dinosaur arm. His hair is long and his face changes, and he has a beard now of reddish brown hair. He grows 6 inches taller. He now looks like a cross between a dinosaur and a werewolf. The guy who is shapeshifting tells her telepathically, you have to run underground because at night they turn into reptilians and they eat people and animals. We are your worst enemy when the sun goes down, but we are okay during the day. So now you're running down in the caves. Lions and a bunch of animals who are naturally afraid of each other are now all cooperating together to run away and escape. You run as fast as you can. The cave has a train like you see in a mine shaft. There's a man in there driving the mining train. He's wearing a green and black uniform. The train has green with yellow writing on it. So you get in and you are taken to the entrance of underground elevator. You ask, where am I? The guy says, Venus in an alternate reality. He doesn't change like the others because he survived the hunt and he was immune to the transformation. He is now helping to save others. He is a guardian of the underworld to help experiments like Veronica. The humans being hunted usually choose not to go into the caves, but the ones who do survive. They are hunting these kids and adults that are terminally ill. If they are caught, they are either eaten, given to spiders, or converted to more Laquoia, or they take their blood and DNA to experiment with them more. So Laquoia are the werewolf, reptilian shapeshifters. They look human during the day, and at night they
Mm-hmm.
turn into these creatures called Laquoia.
Yes.
Okay. These terminally ill people are agreeing to participate to become Laquoia, to transform into Laquoia because they think they are getting superpowers and are promised money for for their families when they're gone, goods, materials, a younger body to or live forever. It's probably some kind of weird werewolf cult here on planet Earth. Some of these people are being abducted, and some are willing joining the Laquoia because they think they're going to the moon or Mars, but they are being tricked, and these people are not coming back. Some people are signing up, paying millions of dollars, some are volunteering, and some are animals. They agree to do this because they think they will get healed. The children from various MK Ultra, Monarch, MyLab programs are considered failed projects, the ones who didn't mutate well or complete their missions. Oh, so I guess they send them over there too?
Yes.
Okay. Is that what happened to you? You were considered a failed project, so they sent you over there to be changed into
Yep,
Laquoia?
but they didn't. But I was not a Lakoya. I survived.
Oh, it's so that you didn't shapeshift and change like they were thinking you would.
No, they thought I was gonna be a failure again, but I
Okay,
wasn't.
Laquoia shapeshifter. Okay, so we went over that. The Laquoia in their daytime form, human form, use kids and terminal adults as guinea pigs, but at nighttime they view them as bait for those transform. Okay, yeah. The driver tells you there's a med bed chamber where I'm going to take you. We take turns to come out every day and see who survives. At night, there's a war going on in the desert area in the forested region, so it's a very dangerous place. There's a war happening right now, trying to save the children, trying to save the adults, terminally ill adults. The rescue survivors are placed in med beds to be rescued for rejuvenation. Medical beds are readily available underground. Here, there are subterranean laboratories to help people who have survived. There's a colony here for their safety, and those that survive have the choice to go back or stay. A better life here or go back to Earth. Children are usually sent back, while many adults often choose to stay. The shapeshifters have tried to penetrate our base, but we have ways to repel them. When we see the kids escaping, we can shield them and bring them in this way. There's a portal in the cave which looks like a power grid type fence made of plasma, which is green and white electricity looking that will kill off the shapeshifters but allow the unaffected to pass. So there are specific portals here for people running away to be shielded and safe. During the day, we hunt them, and during the night, they hunt us. These shapeshifters are a cross between dinosaurs and werewolves. We call them the Laquoia. Humans can be converted into these creatures. Some humans have a special blood type that even if they are bit, they will not convert. He says, you question yourself why so many fragments, why you've been fragmented into so many personalities and alters. It will come together one day. Keep being brave. Don't give up on yourself. You may get frustrated during the day. You are always asking why. Just know that as long as you don't give up on yourself and others, you'll be okay and make it another day. Thank you. His name is Sergeant Lee. He says he's from Kentucky. They took him in 1961, but now he says it's yeah, so we got two different dates and we don't know why. He says there are many alternate realities and dimensions. You must not get caught up in the middle, as there are many programs instilled on Earth, entangled in the matrix, many holographic lies. The train ends near the elevator to the underground city. One of the guards that helped rescue Veronica got bit and is now transforming. So the train driver puts a helmet on him and stops transforming and becomes normal. And then everything comes to an end. It feels real and not a holographic construct. So, Veronica, you want to
This is
comment about
so
all that? What do you think?
it's just so triggering, you know, just even you reading it again. And when I think about it, this is what I'm talking about also with how people are being promised left and right, you know, a long life or just for our DNA. Our DNA is like so powerful and you know, and it's like they treat the children with disabilities, which are obviously abilities, you know, they labeled us crazy SMI, they label us you know, with PTSD, autism, ADHD, whatever, but you know, in actuality they need us. And it's just when I was in this lab, I just hated the feeling. It was like they were sucking the life out of people, you know. And like they say, sadly, but only the strong survive. And I'm talking about spiritually right now with everything that's going on. This is the time to like pretty much stand our ground and not give in to fear, not, you know, not give up your soul. Like so many people, I understand that 1 out of 3 are not real. I understand the backdrop people. I understand the Mr. Smiths, you know, the Matrix, whatever. But you and your heart, you know, only know that you are sovereign and that you don't have to give into this religious programming or this programming where, oh, well, I have to go to Mars or I have to go to another planet. You know, we need a savior, the savior mentality, and just running with the animals here, you know, with the lions and all that. I was being chased too, and it's like, what's going on with these shapeshifters? Like, what the heck, you know? It's very triggering. So I'm just glad I survived that. But lately I've been having a lot of the dreams with the mansions. 2 days ago I was there again, you know, the satanic cults and everything that they do. And but anyway, it's kind of triggering. So I don't know if anybody has questions or because we still have to move on to another thing, right?
Yeah, well, there is a question about somebody mentioned about Donald Marshall and the real reptilians, the Earth underground reptilians who body snatch humans. Um, so I don't know if anybody's
well,
ever,
well, yeah.
actually there is this drawing. I'm gonna pull this up. I don't even know if this is even out. Somebody may have just found this drawing and say, "Oh, that's what." So, are we talking to creatures like this, or is this not even the Laquoia look anything like that? The Vril. Here's Donald
Kind
Marshall.
of, yeah.
Hmm.
But the face is not like that thick, not that huge.
Hmm. Oh, and this sometimes this image shows up when you search for Donald Marshall, but I don't know what the heck that anyway. That's probably from a movie. So let's get out of this. Okay.
It's kind of like, okay, remember the underworld, the Resident Evil? It's a cross between those werewolves and the dinosaurs.
Hmm. Maybe we need to work with another artist, and we can. So here's a. Let me pull this up. This is the Resident Evil werewolf and
Yeah, it's
dinosaur.
more like that.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's pull out of that. Check here for more questions. Anybody else? Can you ask her about the mansion if it's similar to the one we chatted about that I go to from Cloudy Heads? Solias. Hi, Celeste.
Uh,
You're doing well. Go ahead.
I don't know if I know Solias. I don't think so. It's similar to the. Okay, have you guys ever seen that movie, Rosemary's Baby? I just finally watched it the other day. It was so freaking triggering. There's one mansion like that, and then it's white, and then there's another mansion. So I have. It's so weird because I know I was taken. I talked to two of my SSP sisters, and they also had similar dreams with me. I was performing like this exorcism in the Great Hall, what they call the Great Hall, which was a church. You know, I was trying to escape. There's multiple rooms. Okay, there's multiple rooms with multiple of your memories, and they will try and take your energy. So if she wants to talk to me directly, I'll be happy to talk to her about that because there are two mansions. Remember that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I know. I'm flipping back there. I'm trying to find. So somebody commented, Salvador Dali holding. Uh, so I found a picture. Someone was saying these the Donald Marshall real reptilians are 2 foot tall, but I'm assuming this is not what we're this is not the same thing here. But I just thought that was interesting. I just threw that in there. Okay. All right. Let me get out of here. Okay. Next question. Rosemary Baby takes place in an apartment building. Okay. That's not a question, but somebody, oh, here's one. Chris, you had a question about Veronica. Did you take a blue shot in the arm for the She-Hulk? Do you remember what the color of the serums were? We can't hear you. Got it. Yeah, take your mic off and mute so we
Oh,
can hear you.
sorry. It's the green goo. The green goo with a combination of the black goo and what I saw was the yellow in the quaalude. So the green goo usually is to heal people and give them superpowers, well as the black goo too. But because the Hulk came out green, they used a little more of the green goo. If you want, I know Penny talks about that with Leanna and Timothy, and they have 1 or 2 parts about the black goo and the green goo. But when I was in the military here, when I was in the U.S. military in '91 during the Gulf War, they did shoot us up 6 shots in one with anthrax and quaalude, and that was to track us through our spinal cord. And a lot of us had cancer. I had cervical cancer. I still have the migraines, and some people died from testicular cancer. Some people died from the migraines. So yeah, this crap is real here in the 3D and when they take us, you know, in all the parallel realities that they use us for. Thank you for that
So
question.
yeah, so your Hulk and She-Hulk had a combined 9 strands of DNA and 9 strands of something else in the DNA. And they also implanted you with 9 strands of yellow and 9 strands of green goo, different types of femto goos. Okay. And so we also, and as far the comment on the goo, because there was other colors, there was like pink, green. So yellow, okay. Blue is typically used for healing. Green is used, I'm sorry, let's go to yellow is used for stasis. Green is used for healing. Okay, I got that. Pink goo is used for prolonged stasis. And fluorescent yellow green goo is a combination of two goos used for healing and I guess creating the whole clone bodies. So hopefully that answers the audience questions. So let's move on here.
And then of course the region tanks are with the blue water, you know, blue green water as well. So
Yes, someone was commenting about the black goo. So the black goo is that's the from the ET type femto attack that you don't want. That's for very
right.
negative purposes. You but we can I think we need to just skip over this. I mean, not skip it, but let's just move on because we could spend a lot of time on the black goos and all. Okay, let's see here. Any other questions relevant to this topic, please? Someone says, I respect Donald Marshall. They are 6 to 8 inches, real skinny, and can go to your eye through brainstem. like a body snatcher doesn't sound too pleasant. Thank you, Teresa, for sharing that. Can med beds remove black goo? I don't think so. You have to. They have to put you in a the tank, the regen tank, and then. But the problem is the goos will can mutate your DNA. So the regen tank will restore your DNA, but if it's been mutated, I don't know. I mean, you might have to get some advanced ET tech in there to actually reverse it. So, but yeah, you go into the regen tank, and then all the femtonites, the implants, everything falls to the bottom of the tank, and what's left is your biological. So, but you typically what I hear is that you have to physically die first, and then they can rescue you. But yeah, it's not too pleasant experience, and it's not available for public sector consumption. This technology, anyway. There's a lady here. Sorry, don't know your name. Know Max Spears when he was alive. Veronica, did you know Max Spears?
I served with him and James Casbolt underground when they were here in Arizona, but this is before I awakened. And when I had my awakening, it was February 2017, and I woken up to the reality that I had, that I was being used as a super soldier. And I cried so much when Max died, and I'm still trying to figure out what exactly we did, because both of them were here in Arizona, in Phoenix. So I do see myself with them both in an underground base when we were young. But like I said, I'm still trying to get all those memories back, and hopefully with time and more regression and things like that, that it'll come. But thank you.
Thank you. All right, next question. Sarah Adams, do you know her?
No.
Okay, I know Sarah. She would be my sister, because we came from the same batch of clone embryos of under Project Surrogate. There was approximately, if I'm mistaken, 720 embryos. So I was patient 320. I don't remember. I don't know what she was, but she's the one at Monarch. She was able to escape her handler and locate our files, and she has photographic memory, and so she read my file to me. They started off with fish DNA for my particular embryo, and that's what I was using Project Seagate. And of course, we talked about Project Crystal Gates, where they were using the dolphins and super to go through portals. And then they put crocodile DNA. I'm an underwater mutant, and then they added, of course, that adds sensory inputs as well as the DNA from Hitler's SS race. So they made me all whatever I guess. So in this reality, I'm considered weak and fatigued through with all the femtobots. But when I'm activated, I have yeah, I'm the opposite. So most of my work is done in other dimensions. But by combining this other type of DNA in us, we can access our abilities from energy waves in other dimensions. So anyway, well, let's see here. Anybody else here have questions? Project Surrogate. All right. Well, I think we're going off topic a little bit. Okay, I couldn't just walk up. All right. So let's continue on here. Because we had one more part about Black Shield. You ready? Do you want to go into that, Veronica? Yeah. Or okay, so let me share my screen. And I'll go ahead and start reading this. Again, a little background information. Black Shield is a base located. It's a Nordic facility located in Antarctica, located in a pocket reality outside of time. They make Lixodaden super soldiers, and they subcontract for Umbrella, um, Monarch. I'm assuming Monarch, but Dark Fleet, and probably the Fifth Reich, which I said that with that Dark Fleet is Fifth Reich. The NAZIs from the other alternate reality, and which they won World War II. So even though it's a Nordic facility, it is in its own separate entity, and they do So considered a private military contractor. Okay, so you go into this facility, the Black. Okay, I'm just want to make sure. Is this new? This new content? I think so, because I want to. Because
No,
I know
we
we.
did this. We have not talked about this at all.
Okay,
And
this
we did
particular
the
one.
remote, yeah, we did the
Okay,
regression on this one, and we have not talked to anybody about this one.
Okay. So excuse me. Okay, so there's a black cave of green light. You start off there. So I'm assuming that it's inside an ice sorry, ice cavern. You see medical equipment everywhere, and there are green lava looking like things in these glass tubes with squiggly lines on your left. You see about 22 of these tubes lined up. Janine is there, and she's the one that has been helping us, or um, willing to help us anyway. She's wearing a white lab coat, and she introduces. Okay, Veronica, you introduce yourself. Say hello, and Janine says, "Welcome back." So we asked for information about the programs and projects we're in, and Veronica. So in particular, Operation 99, and Janine responds, "It has to do with the Hulk and the She-Hulk. 9 strands of DNA, like we said earlier, 9 strands and 9 strands of something else in our DNA. That's the femto, and how they made us to be invincible with the powers they imparted to us. 9 strands of yellow and 9 strands of green. So when we were kids, they would take us where we would fall asleep. Not Janine, but the ones who experimented on us. They had men in black come into our schools and take us to be tested. They would exhaust our brains to make us mad to see if we were strong enough for the programs. They would take us in their dreams to hurt us and see what point we would fracture and fragment, to see how mad they could get us to use us in the programs in the now. That's why it's so hard for us to remember or recover our memories. We have many alters, the 9 and the 9. They are like little fibers connected to our DNA. They look like a little attached fish swimming around our DNA. They are the pentanites. They inserted into our blood and DNA, and our RNA assimilated it so that when we are triggered, we form a specific creature that would grow in size and change in color and could break the code of electricity, meaning free energy, using our body, our neurons, what makes us tick. We were used for many projects, obviously Umbrella and Black Shield. We could teleport, jump, go through portals and stargates, read minds, and make holes with our fists in the rock of the cave. Rocks of the cave, okay. So as a kid, we would see things under our bed and closet, and our family was given sleep paralysis so they would not find anything out. There's also a lot of lost time in our lives, and I don't particularly remember anything between the ages of 5 and 7. Um, so maybe you can comment about that. Well, let me go ahead and finish this. Okay. They also understand through the fracturing process, we could see combinations of numbers and frequencies due to our dolphin programming because we are very sensitive to high pitched noise because our dolphin DNA is also very sensitive to frequencies. The more of us out there, I'm sorry, there are more of us out there, but they have not come forward and they are afraid to come forward, but they will come out eventually. The space program that Trump has right now is a cover for something that existed for many years. It has to do with the DNA. They are using what they found with us in the programs to replicate it in others so that other super soldiers won't have to pop out their muscles and get bigger. They're trying, like grow larger and shapeshift. They want to keep everything compact so you won't even know that you had the super strength. You could look like whatever. Okay. They are now trying to make super soldiers who don't have to be enlarged like that. They're trying to squeeze it all in so the new breed of soldiers will look normal and could be put on the streets on Earth and look human and not give out radiation like we did, as a Hulk when we get mad. This is how AI picks up on us. They are also trying to minimize that in this new Android. There is a negative AI on this Earth, and they don't want that AI to detect these projects. The negative AI is tied up with CERN and Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not a positive being. He is not as good as he portrayed to be. He recently moved operations to Texas, where there is nearby a Black Shield base with wormhole access points underground that connects to all the worlds. Or all the world, I guess it's probably worlds. We will get our abilities back soon. It has something to do with machines, telemetry, telepathy, our blood, a med bed chamber to help us detoxify the blood. It'll make us younger, get rid of old cells. You stand inside and boom, you're fixed. You can also talk to yourself, talk to the water you drink and bathe, and ask the water to reveal memories when you're taking a shower, taking a bath. Water is sentient. You can also take minerals and pink Himalaya sea salt. Ask it to help you get your memories back. Ask all your being to help you. After we are transformed, we will have more muscle and be more telepathic. Janine says, be aware and not pay attention to politics and what's coming. They are trying to divide the people. Not everything they are mentioning is necessarily true. And this is right before the elections, by the way. Beware of Elon Musk. Beware of false promises. There will be no free energy this year or the next. Nassar will also come, but slower than expected. So I'm thinking maybe 2 years from now, but
Hmm.
uh, yeah. Keep manifesting, stay positive, high vibrational frequencies. Not everything shines as gold. Something will be presented to us in 2021, but be careful what you choose to believe in life in general with the soft disclosure. Not believe, just be careful what you choose in life in general with the soft. Okay, don't put all your eggs in one basket, finance, beliefs, etc. All right. So there we have it. So
Yeah.
what do you think?
And during the time that I saw this, remember I would send you pictures of 99. I would see a white van waiting for me outside after I got home from the gym. There was 6 men that were sent at the gym with plain clothes. I'm like, and then another person told me, you have to leave the gym now, a friend, a super soldier friend, brother. And I'm like, okay. And so it's like, I was being followed so much that week. I mean, I'm followed all the time, but this week was crazy. And just looking at the license plate with 99, and it's just wow, just so much information.
All right. So thank
Yeah,
you, Veronica. So
thank
let's
you.
go in the chat here. So just review here some oh wow, there's a lot of comments here. Okay, Veronica, do you know Sarah Adams also cried when he died? Max Spears, Sarah Adams. Okay, we went over that. I had an awareness since child. What's everybody's going with Sarah? Okay, Project Surrogate. What
Somebody
person?
said that Sarah was Max Spears' handler, but I don't know. Like, I
Oh,
don't know her,
well,
so I
I'm
don't
not
know.
commenting on that because she
Me
watches.
either, because I don't know
She
her.
does watch this channel, so I'm not saying
Sorry, I
anything.
don't know.
Okay. So Nordic with umbrella. Chris, Dark Shield is a Nordic based Nordic ET. So I'm assuming the Nordics come from correct Aldebaran. Am I saying that? Am I right? Do you know Veronica?
No.
What I thought they yeah, I'm pretty sure they come from Aldebaran. So they're blonde haired humans. I think I think it's a bit more drier climate, so like their digestive system, they don't need as much food. It comes out as little pellets after they eat the food. So they're they look like us, but their biology is a little bit different than us. But yeah, they're the ones that typically work with the NAZIs. Um, so as Umbrella is concerned, that is another alternate reality where Umbrella Corporation created the zombie virus and released it, and that's actually why they created Hulks, because Hulks could have superhuman abilities. They were also immune to being bitten by zombie. Not all zombies. The ones the more dangerous forms. I don't know. Is the Veronica virus? Speaking of Veronica, the Veronica virus or the
Yeah,
Tyrant virus?
The Veronica
Tyrant.
one. Mhm.
Yeah,
Tyrant.
some of them they couldn't survive it, but they needed these Hulks to they could walk through walls. They had psychic powers. They could annihilate them just through psychic energies, telekinesis. So yeah, Hulks are very useful with the zombie infection. So they're always looking out. Okay, uh, Veronica, did you know the lyrics? They help the super soldiers. Do you? I don't
What
trust.
lyrics?
Yeah, that doesn't. That's not very okay. Well, let's move on here. I wonder if Umbrella has an interest in Antarctic base. Well, I mean, they subcontract to Umbrella, so but can't really. Yeah, we'll have to ask that Janine that question. So let's see here, Veronica. Do you know Lyrans? Am I correct spelling? Okay, so those I'm assuming those are the cat beans. Is that
Yes,
correct?
I know them. They are
Yeah.
my protectors, and I've seen them shapeshift from human to Lyrans to oh, just beautiful. They're around me all the time. And I have 2 Leos, a boy and a girl, my kids. So yeah, they're
Yeah.
beautiful. They're the ones that I've been in contact with. They're very protective, and they will also tell me, hey, you got to straighten up in this area or that area. They're very loving, but then again, they're very stern. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
The lions are, if you need some medical assistance, they're one of the species out there that would be willing to assist if you ask them, meditate on it. Because some of the races, if you ask for medical assistance, they might give it to you, but then you'll be stuck in some 20-year back program. So you just got to be careful who you ask for help for. But I think that the cat people, they're also is it Basset? They're related to that race. The whole Egyptian mythology comes from that bloodline, and the Zai on Mars. We talked about that on Super Solar Talk before, but okay, so let's go on here. Elon Musk. The only thing we can add about Elon Musk is he's working with the NeuroCore, the Neuralink, which is a subdivision of NeuroCore, and NeuroCore is a joint venture with Monarch. And once you use it, the Neuralink, once you get infected with the femtobots, so it is a way for people to become AI and trained. Um, whether or not, I mean, I don't know if Elon, I wouldn't necessarily, I like to think that Elon Musk is not like this malevolent creature that's out to get everybody. Maybe he's just being used. I like to think that's the case, but Cobra also says that he's a puppet now, so he's not. Yeah, thank you, Les Texan. Okay, let's move on here. Did you ever see Og Tellis? I don't know. He's another Montauk experience here. Got a lot of his memories back. Um, can't really comment too much about that. Okay, Trump is a time traveler. His son is in a relic, ancient book from the past long ago.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
time traveler. And I'm
so,
traveler 1800 from Andromeda. So I'm still messing with the timelines to help humanity to wake up. This is like the 16th time that we've been trying to get it right. So I did ask Penny about, hey, do you have any information about travelers? But she didn't. So I'm still, you know, figuring out what I'm also doing with that project.
okay, the only thing I'd add about Trump being a time traveler is it's from an alternate reality in which he's doing this time travel, but he is using the technology to help his family, um, yeah, advance. So
Right. He's
why
using the
not?
Mach 1 and Mach 2. And then that's pretty much the future telescope that he uses from Tesla. But after Tesla died, his associate came up with the Mach 1 and Mach 2. And so they
All
can see
right.
the future with that.
Can you comment about the merge group? Have
What's
you
the
been
merge group?
have you
I
been
don't know what that is.
contacted by the Monarch Umbrella
Oh,
Refugees group?
wow.
Because technically, that's what we would be part of if we were
Right.
able to escape Dark Shield in particular and Umbrella. I mean, we were Hulks there, but
No
you know,
comment.
I'm getting needle marks. I
No
could try to,
comment.
yeah. So I talked about this earlier. See if I can get this to. There it goes. So a double prong needle mark. Now, we talked about this earlier that some of these marks are from Umbrella, at least because in the other alternate reality, Umbrella is turning us into Hulks. They would shoot us up with the femtobots. We would die, and then they stick us in a regen tank and they reanimate us. So they were constantly experimenting to get to tweak the serums to what they want. So over here, they view us as another test subject where they can just experiment and just do whatever. So I'm not saying that this was from Umbrella. Peter the Insider actually said it was from Montauk.
Yeah, I
But
do. I do wake up with needle marks with round like small round red like burn marks on my forearms. And right now, I was telling James earlier, I have this round thing above my left eye, which is not even a sty or a pimple. I don't know what the heck it is, but I know that I was taken. I've been so tired, haven't been able to sleep some nights. And yeah, so I don't know what they're doing right now.
all right, moving on here. Questions. So let's see here. Some people were commenting about cat people. They love them. Thank you, Teresa. We have so Chris Anonymous. Um, I just asked if Veronica was a Project Ibis. Were you in Project Ibis?
IBIS. What is that? What's the anagram
Oh,
for?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that. I know Caswell talked about. I'm thinking it had to do with the regeneration of the clones, and it had there was a base in Canada, um, in Alberta. That's something I should memorize because
Yeah.
I know Sarah Adams talks about it and Max talks about it. I was not part
Mhm.
of IBIS, so I never really memorized. But I guess maybe Chris, you want to just give us a quick summary to refresh my memory about that. I'm sorry, I wish I could say more, but okay. So let's move on here. James, do you have any of your books available? Yes, I do. You can get it at Neological Tech. Oh, I just lost track of all the where is it's moving around here. So when I lost, okay, let me. I'm jumping around here. Yeah, Elon Musk wants us all to become AI. Maybe not all of us, but certainly would benefit from having a hive mind. AI is always trying to extend itself. Andromedans are here to help on Earth. Thank you, Kiza. Certainly, I would think that's the case. The Andromedans actually gave up on us. They thought we should just self-destruct, but I think it's really cool that some of them decided not to give up. So that's good. Brad said, okay, you said 1/3 humanity are soulless. This would match what the Tajitans have said. They call them the Matrix people. Veronica, did you say that? 1/3 of all the population is soulless?
Pretty much 1 out of 3 people that call themselves human are pretty much not human. Some of them are used as backdrops. Some of them are asleep. Some of them are pretty much zombies. Some are used like as Mr. Smiths, just used to test us, you know.
Yeah, the ETs call them the cement people. So they are just more of Satan's
Wow.
minions, and they just follow along because there's like a herd that follows along with the AI entrainment and does what the group consciousness wants them. And so this herd is driven by, I guess you'd call the satanic elite. Oh, yeah. And so they're expecting, and then there's like another third of the population that just follows along with the herd because they're low consciousness and they're not willing to accept
Hmm.
that this is all hive mind. And then I would say, well, it was probably more than 30. I would say maybe 10%. Maybe it's probably increasing now. Maybe we're at 25%. I don't know, of people that are awakened, and there's all various degrees of awaken. I would say probably less than 1% are awakened to this type of content, but it's great that it's always increasing. All right, so let's see here. More questions. James, oh yeah, I already said that. Okay, thank you. Bill Lyons, thank you, James. We'll order after this. Thank you, Veronica, for your service. Yes, you're very welcome. Oh, here's a question from. Oh, I'm still moving around. Okay, jumping around here a little bit. Okay, the Nordics are telepathically Palladians too. There are many kinds of them. All right. Well, I can't really argue with that. I love Palladians. They're so helpful and good. Not all of them are helpful and good, but that was the 12D ones. Certainly not all helpful, but we'll give them credit. Some, yeah, certainly. I think the Tajitans are certainly doing changing because I better stop saying anything right now. I don't want to say anything negative about any group. Everybody's got their place, and we're at least they're all moving forward here on positivity. So, um, let's see here. More questions. Bill Gates is Antichrist. Why is he not in crypto? Because all will line up. Bill Gates is actually high up at Umbrella Corporation, another alternate reality in which Umbrella is in charge. So he is one of the top doctors over there. And I don't know why he's not into crypto. Yeah, maybe we should ask him. I don't know. Okay, there are many. Let's see more questions. Veronica, are you on Twitter?
Yes, I'm on Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and then on Instagram, I'm Lisa Monroe. I couldn't change it back to my normal name. I don't know why, but yeah, pretty much. there. I'm on MeWe or Mayway, and the new one, Parlor. They told me about that, and I think that's about it.
All right, thank you. And well, I will put once this is over with, I'm going to put a link to your at least your YouTube channel, and people can watch your stuff. So, okay. Somebody says here, funny that Elon Musk has a company named after Tesla, but doesn't educate people on the man who inspired him. At least a photo or drawing on the ads would be nice. It's a good point. Thank you. Someone says here, Chris, comment about IBIS, doesn't know what it means either. Something about physical programming, training children after stealing them. Um, yeah. So that was, I'm pretty sure that was the base in Canada. It was like AL something. I forgot
Yeah.
the,
Well, they took us as children. They took us as children to train us and fight with each other to see who would be the strongest, and what field they would use us. So
yeah, I know. Usually they started off, they would hand us a puppy and tell us to, take its life. And then it was a person. And usually for us, as part of Project Abandonment, we didn't do it. Or if we did, I don't really want to comment. Maybe that's why the memories are all locked up. But
yeah, I was in Project Abandonment and Project Suicide, so I can relate.
well, Project Suicide, that doesn't sound too good.
No, I've talked about it before on on my channel, but if anybody has questions, they can look me up or book a reading. I don't know, session.
Do you want to comment about it? Is it kind of too dark? You want
It's
to skip over?
it's
Because I don't want to get you
okay.
triggered.
No, I just have them look at my childhood experience on my YouTube channel, and I talk about Project Abandonment and Project Suicide.
All right. Okay, so William, can you get Sarah Adams on your show? I just met her about 2 weeks ago when I was in Vegas. Um, I would like to Sarah Adams come on my show. I mean, it's up to her, but there's some contention there with Max Spears, and I wasn't always on good terms with him at the end, or rather, he wasn't good in terms with me. And I know there's like clicks going on here, and I mean, Sarah, I mean, I'm open to it, but I'm not gonna directly pursue it. It's anyway. Let's okay, moving on here. Questions: can people that are part of the herd be reached spiritually, or is it pointless? The soulless people or the herd? What do you think, Veronica? You think we can save them?
I never give up unless it's I'm told to by my higher self or their frequency, because you can try until you're blue in the face, but if they're not willing to even think for themselves, if they're still going to be part of that hive mind that controls them, then what can you do? You know,
Yeah,
you can try for sure. You can try with unconditional love, with helping them, listening to them. But sometimes they are so programmed, the tentacles of the different programs are so into them that some cannot be reached. I used to cry a lot when I first awakened because I wanted everybody to wake up, my family. But unfortunately, not everybody will wake up. Not everybody um, wants to hear the truth, our truth. So
all right. Okay, so next question. Are any of your experiences in Inner Earth, any of your experience for either in Inner Earth? So I'll go ahead and comment on that first and shoot over to Veronica. So when they turned me into a Hulk, they would sometimes send me into these underground bases in Inner Earth where there were caves, and there was one case where I went into a berserker altar and they couldn't get me to calm down, so they had to send somebody over from Montauk that was like a soother, what they call it, blanket, or I forgot what they called the actual term, to get me to stop going crazy or nuts. But um, as far as anything else from Inner Earth can comment, some of the drugs that they made, like the compound C, is made from bioluminescent mushrooms that are only found in Inner Earth. If you listen to some of the CG material, he talked about that these tunnels, as you go deeper down in the ground, there's all these bioluminescent life forms, and there are velociraptors down there. There's a whole ecosystem and plants and creatures, and it's pretty wild to think that all this exists on it. But by the way, those velociraptors are very predatory, so you wouldn't really want to go wandering around these caves without some green protection, or just protection. Green protection is the deal of the whole. That's what they like to call them. Yeah, say green protection. What about you, Veronica? Do you have any experiences in Earth?
Yes, I do. Been in the caves, and the flowers there are so beautiful. They're flowers that I've never seen here on higher Earth. And yes, there's a lot of neon bioluminescent flowers, and the water. The water looks like the Bora Aurel. How do you say that? Aurealis? Bora.
Aurora Borealis and
Aurora Borealis.
Australis.
Yep, yep, yep. So yeah, and the fish there are just like neon, and it's just so beautiful there. I didn't want to leave. I've been there several times, and it's just beautiful and so peaceful. Amazing. And but yes, you have the hunters that are always there, especially at night. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, I could probably. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of those velociraptors because they had like feathers on them, and yeah, let's see here. Well, Duck Duck Go is not being too cooperative. Uh, but anyway, you can just go do a search, I guess, on your own. Try to find that. It's pulling up the it's pulling up the blue avians, who are not necessarily the most positive creatures. But you know what? I'm really jumping around here. So let me go back to topic. Okay, where are we at here? Next question. Project Ibis from Michael Prince. Thank you. Yeah. I would love for Michael Prince to one day to come out of hiding and be able to share more of his story experiences. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, he's under lockdown right now. And
I know. I'm still trying to get my memories, like I said, with them, and then with Area 51 when I was there and under the tunnels there and the underground bases. So that would be great if you would just come out and talk, finally, soon.
what Prince Michael
Yeah.
James Cat?
James
Well, so
Caswell, Michael Prince.
yeah. Well, the problem is that he got himself in trouble for all the nudie pics, and so and yeah, they called him medically insane. But it is what it is, and when the time is right, he'll come out. So someone says here, I thought Project Ibis was a global search for 42 children that belonged to copper blue bloods that included MK Ultra torture and child abuse. And I'm assuming that took place at that base in Canada, and I still can't remember the name. It was AL something, but there was like some numbers. Maybe somebody remember what those numbers are. Please, James, get Sarah Adams on the show. Okay, well, I've already commented that. Let's see here. Okay, Kathleen, okay. Are some of the vaccines will release intended to change DNA as sold people to be more Luciferian compatible? What do you think?
Well, you can say Luciferian compatible, but it's basically not just that, but the Red Dragon Society to conform and to assimilate to the Chimea, and to be more, we'll say, malleable, pliable, to be more controlled as a hive mind, pretty much like the minions we were talking about earlier.
Hmm. Would
Yes.
you consider being vaccinated the same as the mark of the beast, or is there something else?
I would say it could be, but there's more. There's way more than just this.
Hmm.
Way more.
Yeah, I mean, they could shoot Jesus Christ up with black goo. It would make him more negative, but he still would be a very positive being. It would probably also shut down his psychic abilities. So obviously, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I don't think that would be allowed to happen. But
Well, that's what they tried to do with us. They shot us up with the black glue and whatever chemicals they wanted, thinking that they could totally control us and pretty much kill us. Like I've had many near-death experiences, which one I died 3 days here. I was in the hospital for a month and a half. My mom had to call everybody, oh, Vero's dying. But it was I'm sad that I went through it, but I'm grateful because I woke up, you know, 7 years later, but I woke up to the truth and, started healing myself. So yeah, I mean,
All right.
some say we have a switch or whatever in us that supposedly, they can use on us, but as super soldiers or whatever. But I firmly believe that we are in control of ourselves once we awaken, and once we start taking care of ourselves, and once we start healing ourselves, our body, we put ourselves first, and then we can help the rest of humanity.
Mhm. And by the way, I recommend doing some zeolites and activated charcoal to help with detoxing femtobots. If you think you might be a super soldier and you're suffering from a lot of chronic fatigue, you could be infected with AI. Not, I hate to use the word infected, just loaded with the stuff. And so that would help with detoxing. And there's actually more advanced ways to do it. I'm just trying to get people something that's super cheap and
Yeah, what I do
affordable.
is in the mornings I drink 1 teaspoon of baking soda with water an hour before I eat. And then also I've been trying to get a hold of borax because you can put a pinch of that as well. And during the day I take water with apple cider vinegar, etc., etc. There are many ways to detox.
Yeah, so the borax is killing the parasites, the flukes and all that stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. So let's move on. Next question. Is Shambhala different from Inner Earth? What do you think, Veronica?
There are different factions of Inner Earth. So Shambhala is just another place in Inner Earth.
All right. So we know Shambhala is located, I believe it's under Tibet, but I think it's probably located in another dimension outside of time, almost props in like one of these pocket bubble realities. So even if you were to use some kind of advanced drilling technology to get down under these areas in Tibet, you wouldn't even be able to get close to it because it's well protected, or even
Right.
get
And then
close to the dimension.
yeah, we did do a show already on Siberia, right? The other Inner Earth
Yeah.
reality that you and I were there as
Well,
elves.
it wasn't an inner Earth reality. It was located in a crystal sphere, a ball
Yes,
somewhere.
that's right. That's
It
right.
was a whole pocket reality, another dimension where
Yeah.
with fairies, elves, and we were even we did get some feedback from the audience members that they wanted to hear more about that reality. And
Next time.
maybe between you and I, we can come up with some more content about that. It's just it takes a lot of work for both of us to do this, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Okay, let's move on here. Next question. And they are just streaming in. I don't know if we're going to get through this tonight. People keep asking so many questions.
Donations for James, please.
Yeah, right. That would be helpful. We can
That'd
get
be
some more
awesome.
more of the drawings done.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Where are we? Okay. It keeps losing my spot here. All right. Okay, here we are. This is my first time here. I'm blown away. Thank you, Richard. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the I guess with the red pill, right? So this is the realities I saw. Yes, you saw James. Yeah, Nassar documentary. Make sure you, Richard, watch the new one with the orange colored logo on. That was put out in April, so I updated 3 minutes to that. Okay, Michael Prince and Max Spears are cohorts. They sometimes fought each other. They were brothers. Um, and by the way, we were also part of the same batch. They're my brothers too. Wrote okay. Japanese gold dragon. I don't know what you're talking about, Linda. Japanese gold dragon. View Shambhala and Shangri-La to locations in different places above and below Earth, one above it and one below it. So maybe it's another pocket. Well, it's in a pocket reality, but another dimension. Okay. What are some of the things that Veronica saw on the underground bases? Oh, are we going to try to keep you here for 20 hours? I'm just kidding. Why don't you tell us something that you saw on underground base, that something that comes to mind? That
Well, I'm pretty much there saving the children. There's these different ships underground, and there's water. the tunnels, and sometimes, of course, the raptors are there. So sometimes we have to take different routes and go like 3 flights up from from the underground tunnels. There's the spider, the ones that are the but the bad ones. I always forget the words. But yeah, so we're there rescuing the children, and of course they don't want us talking about it, but we're there every night. So send your unconditional love to us, protection to those of us that are saving the children, please. And yeah.
All right, and yeah, the topic is way too open end of a question for me to even comment. What did I see? I mean, there's so much trip chairs, cloning tanks, doctors that look like spiders. Some of them they were experimenting on reptilians, some human personnel down there. So this will be the Umbrella Labs. But I mean, there's so many different projects. I mean, anyway.
Yeah, and then the bodies in the ice that I saw, the bodies that are the giants that are still underneath the ice, our clone bodies that are Myra and Osiris under Antarctica with the dolphin DNA. There's just so much stuff, so many things to look at.
Okay. Patty, thank you for your contribution there. It's Q55. I don't know where I was thinking AL something, but anyway, maybe, I don't know. Nelson Q552, sorry, in Banff National Park. They were doing an experiment there. They were taking children and yeah, let's go. You can go research that on here on your own. But let's see here. Next question: did the Blue Man have gills? Did the Blue Ranger have gills? What do you
When
think?
he goes underwater, yes, but when he's on top of water, no.
Okay. Okay. All right. There you have it. So I'm assuming some kind of shape shifting. All right. Hillary Clinton has many clones. That's what we saw break down many times. Yeah, I can agree with that. Let's see here. Next, trying to. Oh, I just lost my spot again. Okay, there it is. Okay. When they take the entire. When they take an entire race and war and covert the dying race into organic drones, they cannot sustain or maintain souls, so the drone races are soulless. Okay, C. Ankovich asks, ET disclosure due summer 2021. I don't think it's going to be that soon. I think it's probably more 2024, 2023. But hey, if it's 2021, certainly we can celebrate. What do you want to comment on that, Veronica? ET disclosure? When do you think it'll be?
I have two dates. I have 2023 and 2026. Um, However, I feel like 2026 is more of the med labs coming out, and but yeah, those are the two dates that I have.
All right. Agarthia, is that the name of the fairy elf reality? It was actually Siberia spelled with a Y. So anyway. All right. Next comment here. Has anyone noticed less chemtrails this year in past years? I see them less frequent. Okay, so um, we were in a time loop from April 26, 2020 to April 20 or year 2000. And the Monarch is responsible for the chemtrails. They're actually making these chemicals on Mars. They use femtobots and viruses from off-world alien viruses, and they make them down. And for whatever reason, they can only make it on Mars. So um, they bring that stuff over here and they teleport it directly onto the planes. The planes themselves are Monarch creations, and they levitate, but they look like a regular plane, and they teleport the sprays right on the plane. So that's how. And so the time loopings came to an end on April 26, 2020, because this timeline became positive and they realized they lost control. So now they went back to the year 2000 to reset the timeline to try something different. So that's why the chemtrails, I mean, it's still going on because Monarch is still here, but it's dissolving from our timeline and eventually it's going to be going away. All right. first time here from Melbourne, Australia. What do you think of Life Force Weekly? I don't know what that is, but certainly we could use some more Life Force. Elves in the woods and surface, Agarthian in earth, yes. Okay, certainly. And I do believe there are life forms like that. Even Penny Bradley's talked about trolls, and not necessarily inner trolls, but like what are the beings with the one
The
eye in the
Fae,
center? What are they? I forgot what those called, but creatures like that, yeah, they exist.
Cyclops.
Cyclops,
They do exist.
unicorns, yeah, all these things are real in another reality, obviously. And apparently Santa Claus is real. But when I asked David Lotherington to channel this Santa Claus, he was getting the the Krampus, like the dark creature. So he says that's real, but he wasn't really commenting too much about a positive Saint Nick. I don't know, but he didn't want to bring it through. So I'm not gonna.
Nope.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Whatever's about that. Yeah, we can. Okay. Let's move on here. When gosh, these questions are keep coming. We're gonna have to call this quit. My clock stopped at 52 minutes, so I'm assuming this is a lot longer than 52 minutes.
What time is it over there with you, James?
Well, it's at 3 a.m. and I got another interview
Wow.
tomorrow too, so I'm gonna need to cut this short. But let me just quickly get through this. I'm just going to ask questions, no more comments, okay? Um, let's see here, Michael. And we're not talking about Michael Kino. We'll send him love and light. That's all I'm gonna say. Do you know anything about Nyquil? No, we're not talking. Not talking. Okay. Let's see here. Do you guys work mostly in 5D and other space parallel realities? I would say these 20-year and back missions, they take us outside of time, so it is here in this reality. But okay, yeah, good, Veronica. Okay. Um. All right. So I just got through all this. Yeah, I think we're gonna need it. And just the questions are coming in. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening in. Thank you, Veronica. So I think it's been like 6 months since I got you on here last. So we'll see if we can try to bring you on a little bit, get some more content from Siberia, maybe. We'll see what's going on over there. And thank you, audience members, for listening. Be sure
Thank
to
you, James.
subscribe. Yeah. Be sure to subscribe
Thanks,
to the
everyone.
channel. And also check out my website. I got two of them I want you to go to. First one is Super Soldier Talk, and that's where I post the videos here. And also be sure to visit Neological Tech and get yourself a book. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and get yourself a cube if you want. That'll be helpful. This helps support the show, the books, or you can scroll over here. There it is, right there. You get the book. Okay. And then I'll put the link to that. And here's Super Soldier Talk. You should go check out this article. It's very fascinating. It really goes into all the gold, the Dragon family gold, and 9/11 and all that. But yeah, you can check this website out. The links to all the videos on here. And so that will be it for now. Any other final comments, Veronica?
Oh, I want to say thank you to everybody. It means a lot to James and I because James works really, really hard. Like he's always typing away and asking questions for you guys. So just, you know, remember James when you can donate, that would be great because he does work really hard for all of us. And so just want to say thanks, James, again. Thank you, audience. Have a
Yeah.
good one.
All right.